President Biden says America needs his agenda, but Democrats can't even agree on it. Nancy Pelosi is struggling once again to get her party on board, and she says she hopes to pass infrastructure today, and that's even after Biden begged Democrats to do it.
I'm asking every House member of the House of Representatives to vote yes on both these bills right now. Send the infrastructure bill to my desk. Send the Build Back Better bill to the Senate.
And liberals are ramping up the intimidation tactics on those who want to pump the brakes, like Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin, why won't you fight for me? Joe Manchin, is it worth it? Is the money worth it? Is the money that important, Joe Manchin? Is it more important than my life, Joe Manchin? Is it more important than your kid's life? The money better than our lives?
Manchin is, Jesse, driving a Maserati and living on a boat. Why isn't he a Republican? Just get on with it already.
Come on over, Joe. It's nicer on this side. The Democratic leadership is very old, Dagan, and the older you get, the more stubborn you get. You're laughing because you're not even 30, Lawrence, but you'll get to where we are soon. Joe Biden's so old, he proposed to his wife 8 times before she said yes. Nancy's 81. Have you ever met an 81-year-old who changed their mind about anything? Manchin's old, too. He's sitting in that Maserati as it gets mobbed. You could see his blood was boiling. That's going to make him go in the other direction. Pistol Pete probably would have put the pedal to the metal and just squashed those climate activists. He showed some self-restraint. But here's the other thing with Manchin. Manchin has money on the line in West Virginia. His entire portfolio is coal. He's got millions in coal. His family's got a coal brokerage firm. You take the politics and you take the policy out. Do you think Joe Manchin's going to vote for the Green New Deal in this bill? It's going to destroy his entire bank account, not to mention the entire bank account of West Virginia. So there's no way he's putting a yes vote on this. Nancy Pelosi is going to retire probably in 2022 when they lose the House. So the gavel's toast in just 9 months or whatever. She knows this. She's going to Europe next week. She's going to jam this thing through. Do you guys remember how they did Obamacare? The Cornhusker kickback, the Louisiana purchase. They just start bribing congressmen and senators. That's what Nancy's been doing this whole last week. She's bribing these holdouts with pharma money. You know, they do this salt taffy bribe for all these New England congressmen. That's all that's happening. They'll just bribe it to death and jam it through.
Come on. They reintroduced the salt deduction. You're on board.
I already said I'm on board with salt.
Lawrence.
I'm siding with the progressives on this, and I'm going to tell you why. The progressives didn't change. They are in line with the new Democratic Party. They were promised things on the campaign trail. Even though Joe Biden said he was a moderate, the policies that he was putting out were consistent with the Progressive Caucus. You got Manchin, who is a squish when it comes to the Democrats. I think the progressives should hold the line. And by the way, Nancy Pelosi and the leadership should stop doing press conferences. They keep saying that they have reached agreement. They have not reached an agreement. They have lost voter turnout. Part of and we talked about this before we got on. The progressive spin on this is that they didn't lose this election, that the turnout was so low is because they didn't deliver on what they said they were going to deliver to the American people. And quite frankly, I agree with them. Now, I think they're bad, crazy. But at the end of the day, if you tell your electorate that you're going to do something and you don't do it, you should be held accountable.
Jess?
Well, since Lawrence is playing progressive today, I guess I can hang in the moderate wing. I think that they should pass infrastructure as fast as possible and frankly should have done it 6 weeks ago when they got the go-ahead from the Senate. And that's something that's hugely popular with the American public. They had, 7, 8 Republican senators on board. It's a win for everybody. Infrastructure always works that way. And then everyone has something to go into the midterms with. So we have the American Rescue Plan plus infrastructure. Republicans will have infrastructure. I don't know when this gets passed, probably next week that it goes through because the Progressive Caucus wants them to come together. But to Lawrence's point about our previous conversation, I think it is really important when a party is taking 2 different lessons from an election outcome, you're going to end up with a lot of fissures in the immediate aftermath because there are a lot of moderate Democrats that are very worried about their midterm fates because of what they saw in Virginia, that New Jersey was obviously closer than it should have been, even though Phil Murphy pulled off an incredible feat. No Democrat has been reelected since 1977 to the governorship. And all of this also takes away from being able to talk about very real accomplishments, like today's jobs report. 531,000 jobs added. August and September revised up 4.8.
Yep.
Unemployment rate, 5 million jobs added in total, Dow all-time highs. These are things that Democrats need to be focused on and not the infighting.
All right, 4.6% unemployment rate because it fell 0.1%. So that's even better news. But
Great.
on that note,
I love
Mr.
it.
Hegseth, Biden today said we need these bills to put the pandemic behind us. The pandemic is over. This evidence on the economy. We're coming out of this. The economy's growing. Pandemic over. And also as evidence, Biden last week, when he was campaigning for Terry McAuliffe, he was armpit to armpit with people in like a liberal mosh pit. No mask anywhere. Pandemic is over.
Well, that's a garbage way they're attempting to sell it. I think the bigger dynamic here is what happened in Virginia and New Jersey. And Jesse, you mentioned the Cornhusker kickback and the Louisiana Purchase. How many members of Congress that were a part of those deals are still members of Congress?
Yeah, you're right.
Because eventually it comes back to you.
Yeah.
And so it's Gottheimer and the others in the moderate wing of the Democrat Party that are saying, hey, how about we hold out 72 hours so we can read the 2,000-page socialist bill that doesn't even have a CBO score right now?
Right.
Because Nancy wants, yet again, to pass the bill so that we can all find out what's in it. We have no idea what's in it. They know it. They're breaking. We were going to go back to norms in the House of Representatives, right?
Yeah.
They've held the vote open longer than any other vote before. There's no regular order at all. She's jamming this through. They say it's going to reduce the deficit.
Right.
I mean, the Wall Street Journal is pointing out today it's actually a $4 trillion bill. And that infrastructure bill that the left loves so much, if only there was some infrastructure in there.
The
Because
left
most of
and
it's
the right
human
loves it.
infrastructure. Most Republicans are not
squishy
voting for that one.
Mitch McConnell is now a
Most
squish?
Republicans are not going to vote for that bill because they recognize what it really is, a precursor to the Green New Deal as well.
I just don't
So it's all
understand
bad. I
how we
hope
can
they-
continue
hope
to
they
call Nancy Pelosi a master legislator with all of this chaos happening.
When you can't pass it.
I mean, the progressives just kicked her out of their meeting last week. So
You just wait.
Well, and then
We'll see.
Medicare
We'll keep waiting.
Hospital Trust Fund runs out of money in less than 5 years, and you're going to get a 9% benefit decrease. What about that?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.